February is Black History Month. The University of Idaho is taking steps to recruit and retain Black students, all while creating a welcoming, supportive environment. And today we are joined by Mario Pyle, the director of the Black and African American Cultural Center. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about the population. What does that look like here in Idaho?
Yes, so the numbers are a little not very super accurate, but there's roughly between K through college, there's roughly just over 4,000 students who identify as Black or African American.
What about, you're over at U of I, what does that look like for Vandal students?
Well, this spring, there's roughly about 153 students who identify as Black or African American.
Now, is this it sounds like a very small number here, but is that a growing number?
Yes, I would say, even just to having the cultural center there, I think has helped increase some of that population. When I got here, I think we were closer to just at 100. So I think that those even who are in this state or interested in U of I see that there's a cultural center. They may have not contacted me getting here, but I think they are influenced that there's some efforts to have a Black population on campus.
What about the education and the resource and support that Black students have over at U of I? How does that look like?
That's a great question. I think when we talk about education, one thing that U of I has the opportunity to boast about is that we're second in the price to the education you get and the value you get for the education. And I think all people should have that access to that. And so the education in general is wonderful that the students get. I work very closely with a lot of the professors to provide Black studies classes that students might be interested. I know a few of my students that I recruited are interested in the Afrofuturism class that they're taking. I have my admin who's taking a jazz class and is learning so much. So there's a lot of richness that we can provide to students. There's a lot more we can be doing, but we're definitely taking steps in that direction.
Yeah, it's a small but a very mighty group, really.
Yes.
I want to talk about, it is Black History Month, and I want to talk about ways that we can support, as Idahoans, how can we support Black students?
Even better question. I talk about this with my students actually pretty regularly, and I was talking to them about this morning. And I think one thing that most people can do is actively listening to the students, hearing what the students' needs and wants are. And a lot of that is surrounded around the spaces that they feel like they can be seen and heard without shrinking themselves, code switching, all those different things. How do we protect those spaces? And I think it's really important for citizens all across the state advocating and supporting and saying, hey, these students deserve a space just as much as anyone else. And I think another dynamic that I spoke with a few students, mentorships. And when I say mentorships, I mean it in all fields and all levels. And I think even outdoor recreation. I know there's always this thought that Black people don't like the outdoors, but I have a lot of students who want to explore the outdoors. And so outdoor recreation is equally important to a lot of my students. And so mentorship, and so all different types of companies and businesses, how can you help my students get access to the resources that you have? And I think that's something that I've been trying to talk about more ever since I became in this role. Is we hear that there's opportunities, but unless you're willing to communicate those opportunities in a way for a student to see and hear, and that there's representation, those students might not think that opportunity is for them. And so I think representation, in addition to access, is essential, and advocating and voting and protecting these spaces for these students is paramount.
Well, thank you so much. And one of the biggest takeaways there is really listening to that community. So thank you so much for joining us here. You're coming from U of I all the way over there. So thank you again. For now, we're going to take you to break. We'll be right back.